We are live. We have 1 minute before we go live, or before we start. Hi, hi, hi. I can see some love emojis. Please chat me in the chat room. Who are you? I can't see anybody. I can't see anybody. Please let me know if you can hear me. Oh, hi, Bolu. Okay, it's 4 o'clock here, 8 o'clock Nigerian time, I believe. Who do we have here? Who do we have in the house? Who do we have? Hi, Bolu. I can see. Okay. I'll just give 2 more minutes for more people to join us while I also send out the link. 2 more minutes. So I'm going to start at 3:03. And I'm looking forward to this session myself because I know it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to who we're going to have in the house today. Who do we have? Please let us know where you're joining from. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This is the monthly series we have at the last Sunday of every month. We come together to talk about, have conversations around reading, ways to improve reading, our reading culture, how to optimize our reading sessions, just like we're going to be talking about today. Um, Key things to note, you know, I'm very, very excited to be here. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I see somebody interesting in the house. Hi, confidence coach Leslie, my friendy. Thank you for joining us today. I don't think you've joined our live before. Anyways, it's so good to have you. Um, so it's 3:03. I'm going to get started already. Please, as you join us, please drop a comment. Let me acknowledge you because I don't take your presence for granted. It means a lot to me that you're able to join me today. Alrighty. I usually start by introducing myself because these sessions are pretty much new. So some people join at different times. So I think it's only proper to always introduce myself. By the time we go bigger, you guys will already know me, so I won't be introducing myself again, right? My name is Vera Patrick Ozodo. I'm a financial risk manager by profession, and I'm also the founder of the Readers Corner Book Hub by the special grace of God. And the Readers Corner Book Hub has the mandate to raise lifelong readers. So we go about preaching the gospel of consistent reading because we've come to realize that that is the game changer. We've come to realize that consistent reading is a survival skill. And by the grace of God, I've had the privilege to speak at a church service today. Please give me some drum rolls. Somebody. And it was so interesting. Oh my God. It was a 10-minute speech, but I had the fun of my life. And I'm so grateful to the Better Life Church for the opportunity given to me to share this gospel, to do what I love to do most. I am very, very grateful to the pastorates, Papa, Mama, the church members. Everybody was so warm and receptive, and I had a really great time today. I think that's why I'm more pumped up today. Did anybody notice any difference in my ginger today? That is because I got a chance to speak at a church service today, and I give all the glory back to God. I want to believe that the seeds that were sown in that conversation would germinate and yield very powerful fruits. So without wasting too much time, 5 minutes of my time gone already. When you come in here, please say hello, Meme Ude. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, thank you. You guys don't know what it means to have a YouTube live and people are joining. It's not easy, right? It's not. Okay, and believe me, if you were not here, I don't know if I will still have the ginger to be talking like this. So even though our mentor said we should ginger away, even if it's 0 persons, but I thank you very much for giving me your Sunday evening. I don't take it for granted because I also know that time is money. So I take it that you're giving me some part of your money by joining this class. But one thing I want to assure you is that you're going to have fun today. You're going to It's gonna be a good evening for you at the end of this 1 hour. So in the next 1 minute, I'm just gonna try to recap how we got here. Onome Odukoma, thank you for joining us. I acknowledge you. So before now, we had a couple of series where we talked about steps to installing a consistent reading habit, right? Where we looked at, first of all, the why. Because my mentor, Coach Wendy Ologe, she says, he that knows why is better than he that knows how. So we started the sessions by talking about why do we even want to read consistently? What's the noise about? We've all not been reading and we all turned out okay, so to speak. So we talked about the various whys, and we came up with about 7 reasons why we have to read consistently. I'm not about to share those in this class. Please, when you have time, go to the live playlist on my YouTube channel. All of the sessions are there free for you to watch at your convenience. On the second episode, we talked about how to begin the consistent reading journey. We gave a lot of steps, very useful steps, and then we also went ahead to talk about creating time for daily reading. And creating time, I just use the word loosely. It's not actually creating time. You need to just make that time come out from wherever it is. And that I particularly found that session very interesting because I got a chance to talk about. I used the acronym TIME to talk about how you need to track T for tracking your energy cycle, understanding your energy, your high energy moments and your low energy moments, and knowing when to fix your reading time. That is the T. The I, we said we should identify our time wasters and our priorities. And the M, we said maintain focus and attention. You need to pay attention to what pays you the most. Reading is a business that pays more than any other thing. It pays more than scrolling through social media. It pays more than, Netflixing and chilling, right? Not to say that those things are not good, but in terms of priority, reading should top your list, right? And then the E, we talked about essentialism, understanding where you are in your season of life, understanding how much you can do and how much you cannot do. So those are what we talked about in the previous episodes. And we talked about one more, we had another episode where we talked about maintaining a consistent reading culture. And we use the 4 R's, the 4 R framework, which is the reminder, the ritual, the reward, and the repetition. Please go back to the YouTube channel. All of these resources are there for you to catch the replays on. And in that session, we had a take-home assignment where we said that, because I ended up by saying that for every problem we face in life, there is a solution written in a book. You just haven't read the book. That is why you are still struggling with that situation. Because my Bible tells me that my people perish because of lack of knowledge, right? So it tells me, I went ahead to look up the meaning of perish. Different versions call it people suffer, perish, are destroyed. So many bad things paired up with the word perish. And the Bible says it is because of lack of knowledge. It didn't say it's because of lack of prayer. It didn't say it's because of lack of insight or what. It says it is because of lack of knowledge. So that tells me that when you have the right knowledge, your problems get to be solved. It's as simple as that. Even if a book doesn't give you outrightly all the solutions, the book will sharpen your memory, sharpen your mind, open up your thinking strength, right? Give you the speed of thought that you need to figure out how to come out of that situation. Now, thank you very much for letting me do a quick recap of our previous sessions. Today's topic, very interesting: how to optimize your reading session. Just a minute. How to optimize your reading session. How do we optimize the reading session? So let's say you finally agreed, okay, this Vera's voice, like I told the people in the church today, I said my job was to keep them very uncomfortable after today's service. That if you go home and you don't read a book every day, you're going to be seeing me in your dream. I'll be pursuing you and shouting at you. You must read every day. Yes. So let's say my voice has eventually worked, and now you want to read. What do you even do? How do you start? No, you don't start by picking up a book to read. No, that's not the first thing to do. So I'm going to be talking to you today on how to optimize that reading session, right? And I'm going to be using the five, no, not five. There are more than five. When I started making my notes, I had five, but by the time I finished, I had up to eight, right? So I'm just going to be using systems and structures to explain this thing, how to optimize it. It was James Clear who said, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. That is to say, nothing works that is not worked. It is your systems that should make your goals a reality, right? It is your systems that would make your goals a reality. And it says a goal without a system for implementation is only a wish. It's just a wishful thinking. Oh, I want to. Oh, I wish to. It is your systems and your structures that propel you to action, even when your motivation fails you. So this is what happens with consistency. A lot of people, they get into stuff and they are all ginger. Oh, I can do this. I want to do this. Awesome. That. And then midway, especially weight loss people, you start out that first week, you're all doing your veggies, your greens, your smoothies, and then midway, you lump into a plate of rice, right? Don't blame yourself. It's not because you don't want to do it. It's because you have not set the right systems and structures. Similarly, for reading consistently, you need to set the right systems and structures to help you, because the human body needs, you need self-motivation. Really, it's not even about accountability. It's not even about someone can hold my hands. You need to motivate yourself before someone else, can motivate you effectively. So it is your systems, your structures. What did you put in place to make sure that you read every day, right? What did you put in place? So I'm going to be using a lot of S's, the S frameworks. You call it 5, 6, 7, but it's going to be the S frameworks. And the first framework is to set clear reading goals. Set clear reading goals. And in my notes, I said, reading without a goal is like embarking on a journey without a map. You will get somewhere, but not likely that it will be where you wanted to get to, right? So the first thing to do is to set clear reading goals. What do I really want to achieve? Like, why do I want to start reading? Is it I just want to belong, or I have extra time on my hands, or what is the goal, right? What is the goal? And a goal is a blueprint. It's like the roadmap, the plan for achieving a desired outcome. What do you want to achieve in the long run? My mom would always say, in my native language, I would put it in English. She says, if you don't know where the rain started falling on you from, there's a chance you wouldn't know when it stops falling on you. Simply saying that you didn't even know where you started. So when you end, you cannot also know. So establishing or setting clear reading goals is what keeps you on track, helps you to check how you're performing, how you're doing. In the long run, you have something to go back to measure your progress. Now, I'm going to be looking at goals in two ways. We have the macro reading goals and the micro. Just a second, please. Something is keeping me uncomfortable. Let me fix it quickly. Just give me a minute. It's not working. I'm sorry for the interruption. I'm a bit uncomfortable. That's why I'm trying to get this sorted. Okay. I think it's a little bit fair now. I think it's a little bit fair now. Yes. So I'm going to be looking at macro goals and micro goals. What are micro goals? Macro goals, they are more like the main goals, like a high level summary of what you want to achieve. And I'm going to be giving you examples of those goals. Macro is like the broader sense of it. What do I want to, where do I want to get to? So an example of a micro goal could be to become more knowledgeable in an area. So you want to say to yourself that, okay, this area of my life, I'm a bit challenged. I want to get better at this thing. So my goal is to strengthen my finance knowledge. That is a macro goal, is a macro reading goal. Another example is to unlock my speed of thoughts. I want to be able to think quickly. I want to be able to make quick decisions without wasting time, because you know time is money. The more you ponder on thoughts, the more you take all your time in the world, the more time is flying and the more money is flying past too. So that's an example of a macro goal. I want to unlock my speed of thought. I want to speak more confidently. Leslie Grace is here. She's the confidence coach. If you want to learn confidence, energy, ginger, she's your go-to person, right? I want to improve my confidence. I want to improve my competence. That's a macro goal. I want to learn a new skill, right? I want to learn a new skill. So I want to go researching on how to use TikTok or how to do Canva. That's a macro goal. Um, Another macro goal could be to build consistency, to build my consistency. In the previous classes, we established that how you do one thing, how you're consistent in one thing, is the same way you are consistent in many other things. How you are consistent in one thing is the same way you are consistent in many other things. And that is very true. Recently, I was getting ready for an event and I was looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I didn't like the way my face was looking. So this is a very typical example that will resonate with every one of us in this room. I didn't like the way my face was. I was like, I've not been taking care of myself, the weather, the heaters, and everything. I really have to pay attention. So I remember that back home in Nigeria, I used to be I used to sell beauty products. I used to be an Oriflame brand partner. Many of you, if you know Oriflame, please say hello in the in the chat, in the comment section. So I used to market for Oriflame and I used all of their products, like everything on me that they sell and my children. That's what I use. Expensive, yes, but no problem. Because I saw the benefits, okay? Because they are organic, they are made. I start marketing for Oriflame now. So back to what I was saying. And then I decided to order some of the products in Nigeria. Hi, oh, hi Onome, I see you. I see you. So I ordered for some of the products, and by the time I was about to pay, I asked myself, I bought these products back home in Nigeria, and I remember vividly that I didn't use those products, some of them, because the skincare, the facial skincare, it comes with a 5-in-1 toolkit. So you have to do a 4-step routine, morning and night. And I reminded myself that, Vera, when you bought this thing, hundreds of thousands, many of them expired and you threw them away. And I would begin to ask myself, why do I want to spend this money again and buy, and I will know you? So I was like, okay, let me just give it another trial. Guys, I bought the products, I bought them sometime early in the year, and they got to me here in Canada last month. Yeah, last month, right? And believe you me, since those products entered my house till today, I have not missed the skincare routine. I have not missed the skincare routine. Now ask me what changed, and I'll tell you what changed. Back home, 3, 4, 5 years ago in Nigeria, I wasn't consistently reading. I mean, I can't even say something that I was doing consistently, like many of us today. I was just living my life. Oh, wake up. Oh, get children ready for school. Oh, pray when you can. Oh, read your Bible. There was no strict structure in my life to follow. It was more like, okay, I have time for this one today. Tomorrow I don't have time. So I kept on getting by. I was making moves, doing stuff, but I didn't have that consistency. Ladies and gentlemen, what changed in my life in this period is that I learned consistency through reading. You won't believe this. I just had a system, a structure in place. I said, this is going to be my morning routine. As soon as I wake up in the morning, this is what I'm going to do. That, come rain, come sunshine. And over a few years, I have kept to those routines. And when my skincare products came in, like I don't even for less, I can't even sleep without doing it. And they're so easy. I kept asking myself, Vera, why was this thing so hard for you? Why? And it is not only Vera that is in that situation. Remember, I said I used to sell the product. So many women, they will spend money. Those products were over 200,000 for that 5 sets, just for the face. When they buy it, they never use it. And because God has blessed me with marketing skills, right? I talk to them, I tell them what it will do for them, how it has helped me the few times, and they buy, they don't use it. The same thing that was missing for me is the same thing that was missing for them. Consistency. My game changer was that I just structured my life better. I gave it equal time to every part of my life. So I want to challenge you today to always remember how you are consistent in one thing is the same way you'll be consistent in other areas of your life. So why not choose consistent reading today? Why don't you start it? So that is the essence of this call. At the end of this call, you're going to know how exactly to set your systems and your structures in place. So that is on setting clear goals. We've talked about the macro reading goals. Now, moving on to micro. Micro, like you already know, is the bits and pieces, the stepwise methodology broken down into easy, simple steps, right? So I said breakdown of the macro goals into achievable steps, right? The things I need to do to achieve my macro goals, smaller, achievable targets. Now, this is where the SMART goals come in your micro reading goals. We already know SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound. We already know. So I'm not about to take you through that journey because we already know SMART goals. So SMART goals applies to your micro reading goals, right? So you have to, break it down into easy steps. So for example, I have, let's say, read one book in a month for starters, if you haven't read for a long time, or read one book in a week if you have been reading and then you just want to up your game gradually, or read one chapter of a book every day, just one chapter, or read 20 pages every day. I want to let you know, you don't need to do too much. God has made life very easy for us, but it's not in the bigger chunks of what you do. It's in the little, tiny, consistent steps. Nothing can take away consistency. Nothing. You know, I met a friend one time, not a friend, someone I know. I had sold some books to her, and I usually, if you know me, you know that I usually come back to check on you. Have you read the books? How did you find them? How long did it take you to read them? Because at the Readers Corner Book Hub, we don't just have a bookstore selling books. We're also running programs, initiatives just to help people to get into this, the habits. Okay. And so I asked her if she had read some books. She was like, oh, that she just started, she just wants to start. In fact, that she told herself she's going to read 1 hour every weekend, 1 full hour. She would just, sit down with her books. And I said, no, 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 no. It's not gonna work. That's not the game plan. The game plan is in the baby consistent steps. The person who reads 5 minutes every day would have more results than the person who reads 1 hour in 1 week. They are not the same. And I'm going to tell you the secret. So the secret is in the consistency. The brain thrives in consistency. The brain wants to know, what do you want me to do? I don't want to wake up and then you're just tossing me, go left, go right, tomorrow, then start up and then go down. Next tomorrow, go the other way. No, the brain wants to know that, Once my timer goes on, alarm goes up off in the morning, I do my devotional, I do my reading, I do my exercise, I do my reflection, I do my journal. It just wants to follow that. And guess what? The moment you do that for a number of months, you lock it in. That habit becomes established. So that is where we are moving from consistency in reading. We just don't want to read. We want to read as a lifestyle. And the secret to achieving this is doing it every day, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. I think I've spent enough time talking about setting clear reading goals. I hope that you can take a moment after today, write something down, something easy. What do I want to achieve? Okay, I want to read more. Reading more is ambiguous. What do you mean by reading more? Is it that I want to read a book monthly or weekly or daily or chapters? Set it, let it be very clear. Even the Bible tells us to write the vision and make it plain that they may run. So there's no running without the vision. The vision, so there's no reading without a reading plan or a reading goal. The second one I'll talk about, the second system, the second S system. I said, start small for starters. Yes, I already touched on that in the first S. Start slow for starters. Start small for starters. I already talked about this. It is not in the volume that you do once in a while. It is in the tiny you do every day, every single day. Are you going to have some bad days that you're not able to keep up? Yes, and that is totally fine. I myself, in as much as I pride myself to read every day, there are some days. Did I read today? Yes, I did. Yes. There are some days that I have very busy mornings and I don't read. And for me, I'm a morning person. If I don't read it in the morning and I read it at night, reading at night might just be ticking the boxes. I am not going to be immersed in that learning. I'm not going to be soaked up. I won't be able to teach it. I won't be able to live it. So for me, my magic is early in the morning. Before I touch my phone, I do my morning routine. If you want to learn more about this, please visit our YouTube channel on creating time. That class really changed me as I was teaching it. Okay. Hi, Laura Akinyode. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Now, moving on to the third S. Yes. And I wrote something profound in my note, and I said, a system makes it harder to fail than to succeed. This is a quote from my mentor coach, Wendy Ologi. A system makes it harder to fail. So you're not setting systems so that you can succeed, so to say. You are setting systems so that you don't fail. Because remember when I said when your motivation dies away, when the ginger melts off, when the energy is low, it is your systems that keep you going. So for me now, no matter how I feel, when I remember that this is how my morning is going to run, sometimes some bad days, like I don't have time. I just pick a book. I just read one line. I know what I'm doing. I'm not doing it because, oh, if I don't read, anybody is going to flog me or I'm going to get in trouble. No, I can choose not to read it. But I understand the place of consistency and what it does to my brain. Let me read out some things I wrote out in my notes of how these small baby steps help your brain. It helps you see that it is possible. When the brain, when you want to start a new habit or something that you haven't been doing a lot lately, the brain wants to understand, okay, are we going to be able to do this? We haven't tried it before. It is green. I mean, how are we going to go through all of this? But the moment you do it once successfully, second time successfully, your brain understands that, okay, easy peasy. We've done it before. We can do it again. So that is what you want to let your brain understand by trying it every single day. Another thing that small baby steps does for your brain is that it provides a sense of accomplishment and it keeps you motivated. Yes. When you've gone somewhere, you're driving, and I tell you another story. So sometime last year here in Canada, it's very tough to pass a driving test, like to get a driver's license here. When I came, I had driven for like 20 years in Nigeria, and I got here. The way they were teaching me, I was provoking. Like, do you people know how many years I had my first car in 2014? I've been driving. This is 2024. No, that's 10 years, yeah. I'm like, but then I had to sit down and learn the system of driving here. So what happened when I passed my first driving test? When I passed the driving test, like that week, I had a trip, I had a vacation with my family. So when we got there, I rented I got into the hotel and I rented a car with my sister-in-law. And my sister-in-law was like, "Oh, let's go take the kids somewhere fun." And I said, "How far is it?" She said 25 minutes. I'm like, "Oh," and they're like, "Oh, you two, you just passed your driving test. Come and show us what you're made of." I enter steering. I enter road. I thought that driving in Toronto is the same as driving in my village where I'm living in New Brunswick. God, I saw the other side of the coin that day. I was on the highway. Like you will literally be driving at 120 degrees and like 120 kilometers per hour, and people are passing you and shaking their head like, why is this person crawling? That was the story of my life. I'm like, can't you see I'm speeding? They would just be like horning, like shift, shift, shift. Where are you coming from? Oh my God. It wasn't easy. Like eventually I did that and I came back. Do you know that since I did that driving on that Toronto highway, I've forgotten the name of it. I think it's 401. For those of you that stay in Ontario, in Toronto, 401, the highway. That's the fastest highway I've ever driven on. In fact, that moment was life changing for me. Now there is no way I cannot drive to. Why? Sense of accomplishment, confidence, competence, all of them have happened to me by that experience. That is the exact same thing that happens to our brain when we execute a task successfully. So it's better to start small, deliver on it, and then go higher. Then you, instead of starting higher and then you never achieve anything, you're demotivated and you feel like it's not doable. Yeah. So I'll move on to my third S. The third system that you have to put in place is scheduling. Scheduling, yes. Allocate a specific time of every day. I said this before, no matter how short. So initially I said, um, do it baby steps consistently. But I don't think it's fine to, oh, in the morning you read at 6 p.m. on Monday, on Tuesday you read at 4 p.m., 10 minutes scattered. No. Be organized and be serious about this because this is a life-changing experience you're about to embark on. So scheduling, allocate a specific time. What and how do you do that? You look inwards, look at your routine. Please go back to the playlist on creating time. We did a lot of interesting conversations there. How that you don't have to spend all the time on social media. You don't have to spend all the time attending parties and all of that. And I'm not trying to take away the fun part of life, but I think we did a lot of justice to that conversation. So back to scheduling, make it a routine. The brain thrives on routine. The brain does not thrive in chance. It's not nothing, it's not, you don't leave anything to chance for the brain. But when you make it consistent, you go back again and again at that same time, you lock it in. Am I saying that it's 100% possible? No. Sometimes you're not able to meet up. All right, forgive yourself, but make it a routine. And then it's less chaotic for you. And then I wrote up and I said three things that you need to consider when scheduling. First of all, is to understand your energy cycle, like I mentioned earlier in that other video. Understand your energy cycle. Are you more active in the morning time or in the noon time or just before bed? Understand what works for you. And by what works for you, I mean what really works for you, not what other people are saying or what you think works for you. So it means that you have to go through this exercise, check yourself when you wake up, measure your energy level, measure how it dips in the afternoon, measure when it rises up again, and all of that. Then, when you know your energy cycle, you can set up your reading time accordingly. In one of those videos, I shared a testimony and I said, by the grace of God, I had a first class honors as my first degree in microbiology, medical microbiology. And I didn't know why. It was now that in retrospect, I'm like, oh, this is what really helped me. But all I know is that every time I go back to the hostel, I just go to bed. I don't do anything else. I don't bother reading. No matter the volume of work I have, I will go and sleep. When other people are in the class, in the night prep, trying to surmount their challenges, their schoolwork, Vera will be sleeping. But 4 o'clock in the morning, I am up. And once I am up, anything you bring my way, I would crush it. My brain would digest it and I would never forget it. I didn't understand what I was doing, but I just know that early in the morning, give me anything to get into this head. Give me anything, I would do it like with all excellence. So my own energy cycle is very early in the morning. Sometimes I do 1 a.m., 1 to 4 a.m. Those 3 hours, I move mountains and then I sleep back. And then I wake up when my kids are up so we can get ready for school. So study your pattern, take a week or two, observe yourself. Some people claim that it is in the night. Ask yourself, do you really assimilate in the night? No. If it's a no, then don't schedule your reading at that time because you want to get the best out of every reading session. Second thing I said to consider when you're scheduling your reading is to understand your learning style. Yes, understand your learning style. How do you learn? And that's, the learning style is more like how best do you understand stuff? It's a different thing that someone is talking to you, you're hearing. How much do you internalize? How much do you retain? So understand your learning style, understand your energy cycle, and know what works best for you. For parents in the house, you understand with me that no two of your children are the same. Some children are high performance in the performance in the morning. Some are high performance when they're reading a hard copy book or an ebook. Some people are audio learners and all of that. I think I'll talk about that more in the next S. All right. And then the fourth S now. Please, can someone help me remember the first, second, and third S's for optimizing your reading habit? The three systems we've talked about. Please, can someone keep the chat room a bit busy? Let us know. Excuse me. I need to plug my laptop. Let us know how it's been going so far. I want to know that I'm not talking to myself. Although I can see people in the chat, I want to feel some energy. Meme says start slow. Start with teeny tiny baby steps that are very consistent. Correct. So I move on to the fourth one, which is set up the right environment. Thank you, Meme. Set up the right environment. Many of us, we don't think that reading, studying is a serious business. It's something that sometimes we think, that's how we end our day. Even the Bible, you want to read, you just lie down, put your duvet to your neck, then you just use one small space, put the book, now be flipping, then you sleep off. That's not reading. No. That's just lullabying. You're just doing lullaby for yourself. Because if I wake you up and ask you in the morning what you read, I bet you will not remember. Lying down is not a reading position. Because the brain needs to be up and alert. So if it's storybooks, novels, play, you just want to, just flip through. But when I mean serious reading, the reading that will change your life, the reading that will change your pockets, the reading that will make you stand out, you cannot lie down in the duvet. I'm sorry. So choose the right environment. Solitude, stillness in your environment, be alone. Have a dedicated reading space that is quiet. It's very important. No distractions, no gadgets, no talks, no stray of mind. I take that again. No distractions, no gadgets, no talks, no stray of mind. For me, what I do that works efficiently for me is the moment I want to do my reading. Like I said, I do my reading early in the morning. And when I wake up, the first thing I do is not to touch my phone. Never. The only time I touch my phone is if I want to do with my prayers and they are in that phone. And I have been disciplined enough to take that phone and go straight to that prayer and nothing else. It comes with constant practice anyway. So, no distractions. So please let's not say we are reading, then your phone is beside you or your Apple Watch, any small thing. You check, you go back again, you read. You go back again, you check. No, that is just a total waste of your precious time. When you want to read, you need to be serious about it. Drop off every gadget, any distraction. For me, like I said in my previous videos, my children know, even if I'm awake in the morning, they know it's not their time yet. They will not come to me because I don't start my day with them. I need to feed myself correct better food, feed my brain, feed my spirit, feed my mind. My brain I feed by reading. My mind I feed by meditating, reflecting. Okay, feeding my spirit by doing my devotional and journaling or listening to a message or something. I do all of that in the morning before I then open my doors to my children, to my world. So it is about me first before any other person. Even if sometimes by mistake they just bump into me and they're like, "Oh, mommy, we know it's not our time." I'll just say, "Go, go, go, go. It's not your time. When it's your time, I will call you." So it's very important. And then the last thing under the setup, the right environment is comfortable ambience. Comfortable ambience is very good. You have to have good lighting. Please don't be reading with phone touch lights. It's not okay. Stressing your eyes. And if this is something you want to do consistently, then it means that you're damaging the eyes without even knowing it. Phone touch, phone flashlight, no. Use the bulb light or the natural light, whichever one is available. But let it be good lightning. Let it be colorful decors. I do a lot of flowers in my house that I love. In fact, one day I wanted to start counting flowers. I was like, do I want to open a flower shop in this? Because every corner has a different type of flower. I say that it puts me in a very pleasant mood when I see flowers. So my reading space is decorated with flowers. I don't always read in the space. That's my workstation where I am right now. I don't always read the book. I have a place set up that I want to read. And then even in my room, if I want to read on my in my room, I still have flowers. I have colors. So find out what works for you. For me, it is you can see the flower behind me. Anything, I don't know what it is called, but I shall know that anything white and green. I mean, the leaves just have to, be like you see something like this one. See, they're all like that, all the flowers in my house. I don't know what it's called, but I just have an attraction for this color. So I try to put it in my space, like where I know that I want to do my meditation, I want to relax, do some brain work and all of that. So we move. I already mentioned colorful decors, upright states. I already said that. No lying down under duvet. Upright, sit upright. No crouching, no, semi lying down. No. Because reading is serious business. When you remember that this act alone can change my life, then I think we can put more seriousness to it. The fifth, is it the fifth or the sixth now? Is the style, your reading style. Yes. So we need to understand our reading style, our learning style. For the reading style, here we talk about the different book formats. What kind of book? Thank you very much. I see Meme, I see Onome. Thank you very much. The fifth. Thank you for being very attentive. What kind of book do I prefer to read? Is it hard copy books or is it audio books or is it e-books? Okay, I'm gonna take questions. I'll try to rush this so I can take questions. Bolo, please help us take note of the questions so that I can come back to them. So what kind of book do you like to read? Very important question. Now, many people claim, I like to use that word claim. Many people claim that they like audiobooks, just want to listen on the go. They are cooking soup, we're listening. We're plaiting hair, we're listening. We're driving, we're listening. I'm not sure that is effective reading. Why? Because you're multitasking, and we know that multitasking is a myth. We already dissected that in our previous videos. We don't do multitasking here. We focus on one task, give it 98% of our energy. The 2% is for the teacher, and we move on to the next. Not that we're doing 45 cooking, 45% energy cooking, 45 in reading, then the other 10 is screaming at the children. No. So know your book format that you like. Here I said three things to consider before choosing a style or the book format that you want. First of all, I said modeling for your children. Choose a book format that would help you model for your children. We already established this in our previous videos that children see us more than they hear us. So it's not about all that you're maybe say 2% for the teacher. That's what they used to tell us then. No. It's not enough to say, oh, do this, oh, do that. What are your children seeing you do? This is going to be a different conversation sometime in May. We're going to be talking about um how your reading habit affects your children's academic performance as a parent. Yes, what you're doing at home is affecting your children in school. That's a topic for me because it's Children's Day, so want to do something nice with an educationist, bring the person, and we'll have a collaboration. So we're working on that. The flyer will soon be out, right? So the reading book type that you're going to choose must allow you to model to your children. Now, what do you want to model? Do you want to model ebooks? You're always on your phone. You say you're reading book. Your children don't see that you're reading book. They see that you're always on your phone. That is what they see. Okay? They don't see that you're reading. No. Yeah, they won't say to us that you're reading. They see that you're on your phone. And if you don't want them to pick that being on the phone as their style when they grow bigger, then stop being on your phone all the time as an excuse for reading. Then another thing I said is, so for instance, me, I already understood that I'm a visual learner. So hard copies or nothing. Why? Because I want to fill the book. I want to underline. I want to shade it. I want to rewrite it, make my notes on it beside it. Just jaga jaga the book. The thing is entering here as I'm jaga jagaing it, if that is English. The next one I said is before you choose the book format, consider comprehension and retention. The game here, the goal here is not to tick boxes. Oh, I've read today. How much did you understand? How much did you retain? How much can you reproduce? How much can you create from the book you've read? So whatever book format you want to choose, after today, ask yourself again, do I really like audio books? Do I really like e-copies? Some people say, I have thousands of e-copies. After reading the e-copy, can you teach that book? And the author will stand up for you. That is the game, the goal of the reading. And then the last thing I said is journaling ability. Under the reason, what you need to consider before you choose your style. Journaling ability. Are you able to journal? So if you are listening to audio, is it that when the thing is talking, you pause it, you write, or I don't know how people that do it. I'm not saying it's wrong. All I'm saying is let us think it again. Be sure that that's what works for you. And once you've confirmed that it's 100% effective, then you fire down. So consider that you can model for your children, you can comprehend, and you can retain, and you can journal, whatever book format you want to choose. So that's part of the book, the reading for the book reading format that you want to choose. And then still on the style, we talked about learning style, right? We have the visual learners, we have the auditory learners, we have the kinesthetic learners, right? So know which one you are. The visual learners are the people who capture it as they are seeing it. If you like talk, if they don't say. So for me, even if I listen to the audio 25 times, I will not pick anything until I see the book like this in my hand and be touching it, be feeling it. That's the only way I understand. Some other people, they want to just hear you, and their ears are like tape recorders. They've taped it in. So please be sure that you found out what works for you. I tell you a story about this learning style. So my son, I'm still trying to figure out where he falls, but he has more of kinesthetic tendencies. And how do I know that? When I want to teach them the scriptures, because we do weekly memory verses, I write it on the board in their rooms and they memorize it. They say it to themselves, Sometimes they just write it themselves. So every time I give them scriptures to learn, I struggle. I will teach him one sentence. He's 5, by the way, so I can still extend some grace to him. I will teach, this thing will not enter. He will say, in fact, the one that even stressed me more is our family values. To memorize our family values, when he was 4 plus, he couldn't still remember one. I felt disappointed. I said, Vera, you are losing in this area. How can this boy not know one? And I've put it in a frame, enlarged it, put it in my house. He doesn't still know it. So one day, I was going out, and before I go out, I like to keep them busy. I gave the sister, the bigger sister. I said, okay, this is our family, but you already know it. Please teach this boy. I want to come back and hear him say it to me. Guess what happened? The moment when I came back, my boy was at the door reciting our family values. I was like, what have I not been doing? And we've been taught to be humble and learn what we don't know. I sat down. I said, babe, come and teach me what. You know what my daughter literally did to demonstrate it for my son. So see, one of our family values is creating family moments. So she just did her hand like this, so just did some things. continuous learning. She would just say something like, just demonstrating, putting body signs along the family values. That was all my daughter did till today. If I call that boy now, once you just tell him family values and tell him, remember, just do some shake your body somehow, the boy will give you back everything. That is a place of understanding learning style. There is also learning strength, but that is not the topic of this discussion. I guess the point I want to make here is know yourself. Know what is best, not what works. We don't even want what works, because what works might not be the best. What is more effective for you? What delivers results more? Then you choose that style for your learning. I'm going to move to the sixth one, which is your sounds. We're still talking about the systems to put in place that will help you optimize your reading time, your reading sessions. The next one is sounds. Yes. So some school of thought say, oh, they want everywhere to be quiet so that they can read without interruptions. But something I noticed about myself too back in the university days is that I usually have a soft music playing. I didn't even understand what I was doing, but I just know that this thing helps me to read faster. So let me just keep on doing it. It is many years down the line I understood the connection between the sound and the brain. All right. So most preferable are the alpha sounds, right? So the alpha sounds try to mimic the brain's alpha waves. Like we already know, there are about four types of waves in the brain. We have the delta, the delta wave, which is the slowest. We have the gamma waves, which is the fastest. We have the alpha, and we have the beta, right? So the alpha sounds try to mimic the alpha brain waves. So it just helps you to, stay in that calmness. You find out that you're assimilating faster, you're more focused, and you're not bored, and you're not sleeping off. Because there's a thing about also excess quietness, and then you doze off, or your mind just strays away. For women like me, sometimes when I'm reading, I'm writing lists, shopping list, market list, or the next topic of the YouTube live, or the next client to follow up with. So my mom would say soul travel, like your soul has left you and traveled back home. So having the alpha sounds can also benefit you, but it depends. Some people want no interruption at all. No, they just want solitude and stillness. So try it out. There are lots of alpha sounds on YouTube. If you just put alpha sound, you see them there. Pick the one that resonates with you and play it nicely and slowly during your reading sessions. Okay. I have 3 more to go. Let me know if I should continue or I should end it here. Let me see somebody's comment. Tell me how it's going. Should I continue? Or I should keep the remaining to the 2% for the teacher? Let me know. Tell me who's going to respond to me. I love to read your responses, actually. It makes me feel like we're interacting and I'm not just talking to myself. So, who wants me to drop the remaining 3 very quickly? The remaining 3 or going, continue. Thank you very much, Meme. The next S I want to talk about is speed reading. We already talked about this in the previous session, so I'm not going to dwell too much on it. Speed reading. That is the next S to consider. Thank you very much, Mrs. Laura. So speed reading is a thing. If you have not heard about it before, then you're hearing it now. Speed reading is a type of reading that is faster than the regular way that you read your books. So for instance, I want to read my notes and then I'm reading, try different book formats, hard copies, audio copies, ebooks, find what works best for you. That is slow reading. With speed reading, I'm going to read those lines half the time I took to read the previous one I read. And that is the secret for all of the billionaires, the wealthy people, the fast readers that cover 50s, hundreds of books in a year. They don't read like I had just read. They read with speed. And the good thing about speed reading is that it comes with a lot of focus. You might think that, oh, when I'm reading fast, maybe I won't understand. No, it's because when you activate your speed reading, then your brain knows that this is time for serious business. I don't entertain distractions at this time. I'm just going to focus and get in everything that I need to to know. There's a lot of rudiments for speed reading. There's a lot, it is not part of this class. I just brought it in because it is part of the S systems to set up to optimize our reading sessions. And if you want to learn more about it, we talked about it in the third YouTube live. Bolu, remind me. I think it was in the third one. And I don't know if the confidence coach is still here. She's the master of speed reading. I think she has a speed reading masterclass coming up soon. So whenever that flyer is out, I'm going to share it with you, everyone here. You want to take that course and master the art of speed reading. So when you hear people say, oh, I read 10 books in 1 week, I read 10 books in 1 month, they are not reading like normal, the one you are reading. They have gone to unlock another type that you don't know. But I know it, but it's not part of this class. So maybe we might have another brief session with Leslie so that she can give us some, highlight about speed reading, and then before the master class comes up. But speed reading is a thing. It will save you time, it will save you energy, and it will give you more focus. I use it too. I do it a lot. So once you see me with my book and my pen, my daughter was like, Mommy, what are you doing? Are you driving car? Why is your hand doing like this? That's the way to read nowadays. Now I move on to the eighth one. I did fifth, sixth, the seventh one. And I said summarization. That is your seventh S system to optimize your reading session. Summarization. We touched a bit about this in the previous video where we said that research has proven that 75% of what you learn is forgotten in 1 hour. Is it 75? Yeah. No, 50% is forgotten within 1 hour. 75% is forgotten within 24 hours. That shows that the brain needs constant practice to be able to retain more, right? So what gives us the opportunity for that constantly revising the topic is by writing it down. Summarization is also known as journaling. Please, we cannot read effectively without a journal by our side, which is why I said when you're choosing the reading pattern that works for you, make sure it allows you to journal. Why are we journaling? Because you want to demonstrate your understanding of the thing. And journaling does not mean repeating what the writer has said. It does not mean copying notes. But even if you feel like saying it the way the writer has said, it's how you internalize it and become transformed by it. Then by all means, write it again. Journaling prevents you from cramming. Remember then, la cram la pour. When you journal, you cannot cram. Because cramming means you're putting it in your head. You want to save the whole notes in your head. But journaling allows you to summarize in your own words, your best understanding, and you just put it there. And you can also always relive the moment. That excitement you felt when you were reading, you can always go back and feel it again and again. Now, what do you write when you're reading? I put a couple of things that I do. You write down your learning points. What are you learning from the story, from all the grammar that the writer is saying? Like I always say, every writer nobody wants to write a book of 10 pages and sell to you. They want to make it 50. So they will go through Calabar, then they will move to Benin, then they will not enter Uyo, then they will still land in Delta State. Most writers, they want to fill it up, so they have a skeleton of what they want to talk about, then they just start putting in activities here and there. And also, if you want to enjoy your reading, if the person is just telling you things direct, it's like, for example, the way I'm explaining and I'm telling stories, I think it makes it more relatable. So that's what writers do. They put a lot of stories and all of that, but you want to be able to pick out the message. What is this person trying to say to me? Once you pick out that message, every other thing is complete. The rest you are reading, you are just entertaining yourself. So you have to be able to write down your learning points. You have to be able to write down your action steps. So in my journal, I have a lot of journals. In my journal, you will see me write learning points, action steps. What is that one thing I'm going to do differently? Remember, we said reading is not a ticking box kind of activity. It's an exercise that transforms your life. So it means that when you're learning something, you have to be able to take actions, take steps that would make you live out what you've learned. So that is where journaling comes in. In my notes, I always have action steps. It doesn't have to be too many. And you understand we're all busy. So let's say you read a book on finance. Like there's a very powerful book I read. One of the books that have impacted on me most this is that storehouse principle, where it talks about putting aside some money from your earnings or from your income or from your business for God to multiply. That God does not multiply what is in your expenditure account or your current account. It is in what is in your storehouse, your savings. That's the long and short of the book. It's over 100 pages. Or that's all the person is saying. And what was my action step? Open a savings account. I already have a savings account for myself. So because I want my business to also flourish and blossom and I want God to bless it, my action step was simple. Open a savings account for the Reader's Corner Book Club. Finish after reading a book of 190 something pages. But if I do that, have I been transformed? Yes or no? Yes, I have. Because I've been able to do something different with what I learned from reading that book. And 1 minute extra. The another thing I also wrote down that you can journal is your reading logs. Have a reading log, like, okay, on this date, this is what I read. On that date, this is what I read. On that date, that's what I read. I also like, so the reading log. So what I do with that one is, because I want to keep a history of what I've read. I do this a lot with my daughter too. I encourage her to keep a reading log. So every day she comes back from school, she says, Mommy, I read this book today. I give her her log. We're going to register. She write the date, the name of the book, one line learning, just one line sentence, your 40 lines. It's enough. Yeah. So, and then the last but not the least is supervise or track your progress. Supervise, scrutinize, track, monitor. Ask yourself, what have I been able to achieve? Remember, we started step one by setting clear goals. So after all what you've done, you go back to your clear goals and you check, what have I been able to achieve? What have I been able to achieve? I said I'm going to read 30 minutes every day or 10 minutes every day. Okay, I actually read 20 times this month. Kudos. Next month, I'm going to make it 25 until I get to my mark. That's excellent. So there is no growth without measuring progress. Again, remember my mom saying, if you don't know where the rain started falling on you from, you will not know when the rain stopped falling on you. That is just what supervising your progress means. Be aware, live in the moment. Know that this is a project that I'm embarking on and I'm going to see it through. I read a book, it started Finish What You Start. It's a very small book. Oh my God. When I read that book, I was like, God, is this the reason that people procrastinate? Is this the reason people don't get things done? The gift of following through is a thing. Yeah. So that is the end of the S's, the S systems. Please, how many did I discuss eventually? Tell me, because I still have some, but I'm not going to go. I'm tired already. And I know you are tired also. It's already past 5 here. And for those of us joining us from Nigeria, it should be your past 9. So I don't want to keep you too long, but I think I did a good job at discussing these 8S frameworks, 8S systems for optimizing your reading sessions. Please let me know how you feel about this discussion in the comment section. Let me know one thing that you took away. I see a lot of people on the live stream and I'm very grateful. If I've not acknowledged you, forgive me. That's because I've not seen your chat. Can you just tell me one thing that you've taken away from this 1 hour, 3 minutes of your time? Please. Oh, thank you, Lillian. That's my big sis. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to rush quickly to the questions. Okay, she says, Mrs. Laura says, what do you do when you... Yeah, I have glasses and I'm stressing my eyes. What do you do when you meditate? Okay, thank you very much. Good question. Before you run off, let me answer your question, okay? Okay, you're not the one who asked the question. What I do when I meditate personally is, so this is my morning routine. When I wake up, the first thing I do is to meditate. I don't even start with prayers. I just like take deep breaths, like, okay, Vera, you're awake for another beautiful day. I like to, first of all, like I told some of my friends, I said, I get a lot of messages through my dreams. Like God has a way of showing me stuff in my dreams. So when I wake up, I want to remember my dreams. That's the first thing I do. So I meditate and I reflect. So I just cast my mind back to bed. Okay, what was the dream? What's the mess? And then I carry my journal and I write it down. Okay, da 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 da. Da. Many of the topics I discuss here, I get them in my dreams. So you see that part is very important for me, because once I wake up, I don't want to lose out anything. Because once I start chasing people to get up for get ready for school, that one has entered inside their lunchbox. Yeah. So I do that, and then I say my prayers. I pray. I have a prayer schedule. I have the areas of my life I pray for every day of the week. If it's the day for my marriage, I pray. If it's the day for my children, the day for my business, the day for my career, I say the prayers. And then the next thing I do, I exercise. I try to exercise to pump up my heart rate. You know, this is a concept I learned from a book that I read some years ago. How early morning exercise sets your day to start right. It sets your day to start right. So I try to do that no matter how small, even if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I just do vigorous exercise. I jog a lot. And then I do my sit-ups, because we're looking for flat tummy. That has never come since how many years I've been doing. But it goes beyond the flat tummy. It just goes up for me to be fit. All right, and also to pump up my brain and my system for a new day. I do that, and then with that high energy from exercise, I pick up my book and I read. So that morning when I'm reading, oh my God, the way the thing is flying in. A writer says that when you read early in the morning, you unlock your inner genius. So most of my classes that I take, you cannot catch me making my notes in the day or in the night. It has to be very early, between 3 to 5 a.m. That's when I do my notes, because that's when my inspiration comes, my brains are unlocked, my creativity is unlocked, is at its peak. It just keeps coming. Many of these things I don't even know. Like, it's when I finish talking, I'm like, how did I know what I just said? Like, where did this come from? So I also go back to watch my sessions myself, and I take my notes. I'm like, okay, did I really say this? So that's my morning routine. I do all of that. I do my reading sessions. I don't do too long. I don't even do 30 minutes during the week, because my mornings are very busy because of the kids. So I do 15 to 20 minutes, but that is when I'm fully pumped. So then I add my speed reading. So I cover a lot of pages in that short time. All right. But on slower mornings, when I don't have too much, like when my kids are on holiday, I can do 30 minutes. Then weekends, I try to discipline myself to do 1 hour at a stretch of reading, because I have a lot of books I want to cover. You see me most times when I sell books, I recommend, because I've read many of them. So I have a target for myself that every book in that bookstore will be in this head. So it means I have to read a lot, because I have thousands of books in the bookstore. So I just try to do the best that I can. I hope I answered your question properly, Laura Akinyode. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. I really do appreciate this session. Every time I have the chance to come up here, it's always fun. Sometime we're going to start doing Zoom sessions so that I can even see your faces, because it's not easy talking and you can't see who's on the other side, but I do appreciate, I can see that people are on the call with me. I can see your comments. So do we have any other questions? Are we ready to go to bed now or go on with the rest of our day? Remember, this link is always in the YouTube session, in the YouTube page. You can catch a replay. Okay, you can catch a replay. And Mrs. Laura, if you want to know more about morning routines, I would recommend a book for you. And that book is the 5 a.m. Club. That book is the game changer, especially for family women like us that are always running kitty kitty kata kata. That book will structure your life in a way that you will just be walking on the water, like sailing through. That 5 a.m. Club, it's a very good book. It will help you know what to do every hour in the morning, what to do in the day, how to structure your day, when to take your breaks during the day, how to do your night routine. That book is good. People, they write books, Sha. So if you want to learn more about a very powerful morning routine to imbibe, please, the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. It's your go-to book. Everybody who comes around me with reading questions, I just direct you to that book, because that's the starting point. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to end the live stream now. 1 hour, 10 minutes of sharing nuggets with you. I am so grateful for your time. Onome is asking, how is speed reading done? Maybe we'll have a different conversation of speed reading, because it's something that everybody needs to try out, and then it helps you to cover more ground in little time that you have for reading. Thank you once again. It's your girl Vera Patrick Azodo. I really do appreciate you for joining me, and I do hope that you picked a thing or two from this session. If you're catching a replay, please drop us comments here, ask your questions here. My team will be here letting me know when there are questions, and we can answer your questions, hopefully. Thank you. Till we see again sometime next month. Please try to read a book every day and have a pleasant rest of your day. Bye.